Welcome, visionaries and revolutionaries, to the Aligned Empire podcast, your gateway to building a movement of change, wealth, and impact. I'm your host, Drea Brown. This podcast is for the visionary woman who is ready to master the energetic frequencies of money, business, and herself, and is ready to expand into a frequency, life, and empire that mirrors her highest purpose. Together, we are rising up and reshaping the world as we know it, defying limitations and boldly embodying our highest selves. You're not just listening to another podcast. You're embarking on an epic journey. Hello and welcome back. I'm super excited for this topic because it is such an incredibly important topic to talk about, especially right now. So we're going to be talking about the divine feminine and the fact that this energy is so prevalent right now in our society, so prevalent in all of the subtle energies around in the world right now. If you go through social media, it's so prevalent and it's so freaking important to understand the divine feminine energies and the divine masculine energies and where you fit in exactly. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today, is explaining what the divine feminine energy is, what the divine masculine is, what it means for you, what it means for humanity, and how you can really use this energy to make a massive impact in the world around you, as well as just in your life, and using it to create an incredible dream life. And just using it for manifesting. A lot of people, when we start talking about feminine energy, when we start talking about this masculine energy, a lot of people, a lot of clients will start to think that it means being more of a man or being more of a woman. What I'm trying to say is people think of it as it is binary energies, but they tend to think that just because they're a woman means that they have more feminine energy, or just because they're a man, they're supposed to have more masculine energies, when that's just not the case at all. And I think it's really time for all of us to embrace that we all have both of those energies. It's not just one or the other. When we can start letting go of the illusion that we're a female, or the illusion that we're a male just because of our body parts, just because of what society has literally ingrained with us in every single place that we look. It is so incredible, including the advertisements that we look at every single day that we're bombarded with because we've been tagged as a female or a male. If we can just let all of that go, all of those illusions go, if we can just let go of the idea that we were born into this world as a female, or we were born into this world as a male, can we just let that go for a hot second? And can we just realize that every single one of us, we're just energy? That's all we are. We are just pure, beautiful, abundant, joyful energy. Can we just accept that fact that we're just energy? And when we talk about feminine and when we talk about masculine, it's just energy. It's just a type of energy. And it's not related to a specific gender. It's not gender related. It is just energy. It's pure energy. When we can really work with it in that aspect, and just letting go of all the attachments, letting go of all the stories and identities that have to do, which is really hard because it's so cultural related, society driven. It's just so ingrained in every single one of our little cells, because it's just, like I said, bombarded with all the time since we were, even before conceived, some of us, our hot pink rooms or baby blue rooms. But if we could just let that go and embrace this energy that we are all. It's this energy of being both, having feminine and masculine energy, not having, not thinking that we need more of one than the other, but knowing that we ultimately need to be balanced in these energies, because these energies both of them are just as important to have a beautiful balance. You're not supposed to be more feminine than you are masculine. And again, we need to let go of what it means to be feminine and what it means to be masculine, because it's not the case of what I'm talking about. I don't mean like you can't, don't wear stilettos or don't wear, sexy, whatever it means for you to be feminine and whatever it means to be masculine, but really accepting this idea of just embodying both of those energies. And what we're going to do on this episode is really, I'm going to let you know what it is to be having feminine energy, what it is to have masculine energy, and really how to find a balance of having both of those energies in your body where it just feels natural and it feels good. and you're taking action, which is masculine driven. You're taking action. You have structure in your life, which is also masculine. You are very focused on your goals, but you also have this beautiful ease and flow to your life where everything is just coming to you naturally. And every time that you take a step toward your goal, masculine, you allow yourself to receive, feminine. So it's this very beautiful flow of the energies. It kind of reminds me of this beautiful dance where you absolutely 100% need both of those energies in order to completely thrive and live the absolute best life you possibly can. In order to become a goddess to power, you have to have this masculine energy inside. You have to have this feminine energy inside. You need both. You need both in gorgeous, amazing balance. So let's go ahead and get into what we've been seeing these past, I'm just going to go 100, maybe 100 years, but what we've been seeing especially play out in our culture, our society, within the world these past hundreds of years. And, what it means for humanity now moving forward, now that the pendulum is starting to swing back, going back into feminine energy, because what we've been dealing with very much recently is we've been dealing with masculine energy. And when masculine energy is out of balance and it doesn't have feminine energy, what it is, it's this very forceful type of energy. So, and we've seen that especially, honestly, everywhere, but we see this with businesses. When I think of it, I love using that example, businesses. A lot of businesses, they're entrepreneurs. What they do is they force. They force. And so, you go online and you have these people saying you need to get up at 5 a.m. That's the way to be successful. Even if it's not your natural bedtime, we're going to look at it. Whatever other successful people are doing, which I'm not saying is a bad idea, but we're going to look at what other successful people do. They get up at 5, and they have this rigorous, this very forced schedule, this very forced way of doing things. And especially when you're an entrepreneur, you get into the entrepreneur world and you see it all over online where, hey, this is the way to make money. This is what you need to do. You need to follow this exact structure. This is the only way. And everyone has their advice and their ideas and everything, but it's insanely structured. It's very action oriented. It's very goal oriented. And we see this obsession with only money. I go onto Facebook or I go and, again, in the entrepreneur world, you see all these, especially men, but men, the majority of men, because it's a very masculine energy and men have really stepped into it and really have been forcing their way, which again there's going to be there is a swing of feminine energy right now. But we really see this, they flash their fancy cars, they flash their private jets, they flash all of their, their ritzy little things, which is not, if that's what they feel inside, go for it. That's, great. But on the other hand, this is a very goal-oriented type of looking at things. There's this feminine aspect of energy that's missing, which is compassion, which is empathy, which is truly just focusing both on profit, of course, both on wealth, but also on the flip side, focusing on making an impact on people, making an impact on adding value to the world, because really you go into the business world and there's just not enough of that. You get really sucked into that culture of just wanting money, and you really get sucked into the culture of looking for markets that are just going to make you a shit ton of money instead of looking at how can I add the most value to the market? How can I add the most value or the most benefit to people's lives in that way? It's very forceful. So instead of just allowing your natural talents to fall through, instead of just following the inspired next action for your life to go, it's following these people's exact blueprints. And again, I'm not saying some of it doesn't work, but overall, you're going to have your own unique blueprint in owning your business and owning your life, your career. You're going to have your own unique blueprint to relationships, to every single thing. So I don't necessarily believe in following an exact blueprint for driving your business forward or driving your life forward. I believe in this beautiful balance of receiving your intuitional nudges and then taking action based on that. Based on once you receive some divine nudge, which feels like excitement, which feels like joy, which feels sometimes a little nervous, but excited. Once you feel this nudge, That's when you take divine inspired action, and that's, again, that's the freaking balance between this masculine and feminine energy. It's receiving those intuitional nudges, those feminine nudges, and then getting the masculine side and taking action. And then and it's also this creating of structure in your life, which I just love, like creating a structure, but not having it too rigorous in structure, but also having this flexibility and balance where there's a structure that's cradling and keeping your life safe, or keeping your business safe, or your career safe, like the structure that helps you. And within this structure, you can dance, you can flow, you can have this beauty, this creativity just within this beautiful structure. And sometimes we might get out of this structure, and that's okay. And allowing us, just to like be easy, let it be easy. Just letting life be easy instead of forceful, instead of having to work 100 hours a week, 80 hours a week, 70 hours a week. I can't tell you how many entrepreneurs, how many business owners, and again, I'm going to use this example just because that's basically my life is, entrepreneurial, and I love it. But there's just so many people that they quit their job so they can work for themselves. It's instead of working for someone else, instead of working 40 hours for someone else, they're working 80 hours for themselves. And I can't tell you how many people I see doing that, and it doesn't feel good. And I'll be the first person to say, I got burnt out last year I wasn't even working that, like I wasn't working, more than 50 hours, 40 hours even a week. I was probably just working 40 hours a week, like our average work week. But I got so burnt out because it was just this forceful thing where I felt I should be doing this, or I should be doing that. I had to be doing this. And I want to ask you, how many areas of your life are you forced into because you think you should be doing it? Where are all the shoulds in your life? And I want you to actually think about that right now. Take a step back and take a breath. And where are all the things you're doing right now that you just feel like you just should be doing it? Is it your career? Maybe it's your business, maybe it's the niche you're in. Maybe it's a program that you just opened up. Maybe it's a course that you just started teaching. Maybe it's a relationship even that you're keeping in your life because you feel like you should have it in your life. What are all the shoulds? Can we just let all of those shoulds go? Can we allow ourselves to surrender to all of the shoulds? Just allow it to surrender. And, I would love for you to if you want, please pause this podcast episode and allow yourself to fully surrender. Hello, amazing visionary women. I just wanted to stop in really quick and say, if you're enjoying listening to this podcast or this episode, if you could just do a quick pause and leave a review wherever you're listening to this right now, and let us know exactly what you like listening to this episode about. What type of insights were so incredible to you? My team and I work so hard delivering as much value and as much love and put as much energy as we possibly can into these episodes that it truly means the absolute world to us. Take a screenshot of this episode, share it to your Instagram story, share it to your Facebook. I love tagging you guys as well in my stories. 99% of the time, I will also tag you as well, just to let my audience know, hey, there's other people listening to this podcast. So it really does mean the world. And I absolutely love going with depth rather than width. I'd much rather you listen to 10 podcasts and go really, really in depth with the audience and the community rather than 100 different podcasts. It really means everything when you can go more depth, a smaller amount of things rather than going width-wise. And so I would love to extend that invitation to you guys and say, hey, I would love for us to be the community that you wanted to go more in depth with. And with that, make sure you guys go check out those show notes, go download our resources. We have amazing, incredible resources I know 100% you're going to absolutely love that most people are paying $2,000 for. I'm not even kidding. So make sure you guys check out those show notes and download those free resources, get on that newsletter and engage with this community, because we're building something really special here. And I just want to say, even if you don't want to do any of that, I appreciate you so much listening to this and being entangled in this energy and in this journey with me. So thank you so much. And let's get back to the episode. Allow yourself to let go of all of your shoulds and what feels good to you in this moment to do. What things, again, I want you to focus on what things you're doing just because you think you should, or that you need to do it, or you're expected to do it. And if you could just keep surrendering. Like, that is the biggest word I can just leave you here with today, is that word surrendering. Just continue to surrender. And when you surrender, what's the next thing that you want to do? And once you choose that next thing you want to do, I want you to take the first step. And then again, I want you to surrender. I want you to surrender it. Because if you can keep surrendering, just keep surrendering to every single thing that you think you're supposed to be doing, and you still naturally gravitate towards that, even when you completely surrender to it, that's your soul talking. That's your intuition talking. That's your divine power talking. And so that's what I've been personally working on, is fully surrendering all of the energies, and I've been wanting to make this podcast. This has been in my heart for so long. It just felt so exciting in my belly. It felt so exciting in my entire body, but I still let it go. I still surrendered that feeling. I felt the excitement and I allowed it to surrender. I let it go just because I wanted to make sure it wasn't coming from my ego. I wanted to make sure it wasn't coming from something outside of my soul. I just didn't want it to be just an idea that I got excited about, because I will tell you one thing, that is something I'm very good at doing with myself, is making myself excited for things about pretty much anything. And I can literally convince myself to be excited about something. I wanted to make sure that this wasn't that. In order for me to do that, I had to surrender. I had to find that idea that I was super excited about, and I surrendered it. I let it go. I kept letting it go. Every time I felt that excitement, I allowed myself to feel it again. I let it go. And it bubbles up to be even more incredible, to be even more exciting. So I want you to try that. I want you to find something. I want you to let go of all your shoulds. I want you to let go of whatever you're doing in this moment. I want you to let go of whatever projects you're really focused on. I want you to let it go. Just completely let it go without wanting to clinch onto it. Just let it go. Because if it's meant for you in this moment, it will find its way to you. The energy will just find its way back to you. And I want you to keep letting it go, keep letting it go, keep letting it go, until all of a sudden you've let go so much that you have this natural energy, this feminine energy coming up through your body. That's what moves you to take action, is this beautiful feminine energy, this reciprocity of energy that flows through your body. And you're basically going at a point where you're observing yourself moving because you're following what feels truly freaking awesome. So, and that's what I feel like I'm doing as much as I possibly can. I'm not perfect. In my best days, that's what I'm doing, is I'm literally tapping into what feels good, what energy feels super freaking good in this moment. And then I let myself just go to work. And it's like, I let go of my mind, because that's going to be the thing that messes up us the most, is going to be our mind, of the things that we think we should do. Because I can't tell you how many things that I should have been doing instead of doing a podcast, starting a podcast, putting more stuff on social media, adding more value to people's lives as much as I possibly could. I can't tell you how many things my mind told me that I needed to do before I did this. And so that was something I needed to let go. So I kept surrendering that. I kept surrendering that idea, because there's so many things. And so I just kept surrendering. And I took time for this. I took months for this. I kept surrendering of all the shoulds that I was supposed to be doing. There's so much insane information out in the world with everything, with, starting your own business, with just life in general. There's so much information. And I want you to just let it all go. Let all that information go and just surrender. Just keep surrendering to the energy. Keep surrendering. And so before I get too off topic, this is such an important topic, is to keep on surrendering. But before I get off topic, I want to go back to the pendulum and what is happening for humanity with this energy that's happening, just this feminine energy, this masculine energy. And what's been going on, like we were talking about, is this insane competition that we have, this insane scarcity mindset, this lack mentality. And now that the pendulum is starting to swing the other way, we're starting to allow this feminine energy in. And we're starting to see that, just with the pandemic in general, that is a manifestation. The pandemic is a manifestation of us needing to slow the crap down. That's us needing to go inside of ourselves to feel our emotions, to feel what we've been pushing down for so long. And now we've realized, when we've been going inside of ourselves, we've realized there's so many emotions that we've really suppressed because we were told we were supposed to. And this doesn't just happen for men, even though it happens more so with men, that they've suppress their emotions because that's what they're told to do. But it's happened for all of us. And this is where the shadow work comes into play. If you've been following social media, especially on TikTok, there's a bunch of talk about shadow work, inner child healing. That's where that comes in, is really starting to recognize where you've been suppressing your emotions, where you've been one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Teal Swan, she talks about bulldozing. I love that, but don't ever bulldoze your emotions. If you feel something, don't push through it. If you are about to work on a project, if you are about to work on something and you don't feel like doing it, don't. Figure out your emotions first before you continue. Don't just that's what bulldozing means. Don't bulldoze your emotions just to finish this project. Figure out your emotions first. Observe curiously where you're feeling these emotions. Sort those feelings out and then go for that project. And then continue if it's right for you. And that's the most important thing to figure out, if it's right for your soul, if it's right for you. Keep on figuring that out. And if there's a reason it doesn't feel good, if you're going to work and it just feels like you're clawing your way to work, like by your fingernails, you're just being pulled and you just don't want to and you feel numb inside, figure that shit out. Figure it out. You have to figure it out. And I want you to spend this day figuring that out. The next thing that you don't feel like doing, the next thing where your emotions just doesn't feel good, it doesn't feel right, don't bulldoze those emotions. If your relationship is something deep down doesn't feel good, don't bulldoze that. Observe it, recognize it, reflect upon it. So that's the most important shadow work that you can do. You don't need to take any courses. You don't need to do anything outside of yourself in order to do shadow work. No, recognize what's going on inside. That is shadow work. That is the deepest shadow work that you could possibly do. Keep on recognizing your emotions when they come up. And as far as that is happening, that's very much a feminine energy, is to reflect, to nurture, to be compassionate for these emotions that we've been shoving down for so long. And so that's where the feminine energy is going to come into play. And with the balance of the masculine, is we're going to be reflecting on the energies that we've been not allowing ourselves to feel. And it's okay, because everything up to this point, there's nothing to be angry about that masculine energy has dominated for a very long time. There's nothing to feel bitter or angry about. This was supposed to happen. This was supposed to catapult our civilization. This was supposed to catapult the human race to this very point in evolution that we find ourselves in today. We're in the safest period of humanity we have ever been. There is less death, less wars. It might not seem like that necessarily, but it literally is the safest time to ever be born in this very moment. And so now we have that safety. We have that, what masculine energy has created. But now there is an overbalance of masculine energy. And again, that pendulum needs to swing back into allowing that feminine energy to come in. And while it's swinging, a lot of the times it doesn't perfectly balance right away. Actually, it almost never does. When the pendulum swings, we're going to start to see a little bit too much feminine energy come into play, where there is going to be angry energy. When I'm already starting to see it. There's a lot of angry females, which is very understandable. But there's a lot of angriness going on in the world. A lot of women, again, they want to be empowered, but they feel angry against men. And I am so guilty of this. Like, I have had that before. And I still even have some emotions, like some bitterness come up, where I'm still letting some of that go. But it's letting go of that bitterness, letting go of that anger that men have, that we think they've done to us, and just letting it all go and having, because when we're angry, that's going to be more an overbalance of masculine energy. We have to allow ourselves to have forgiveness and compassion, when we feel empowered. That's that empowerment. So it's like when we feel empowered, we almost let in too much masculine energy in certain areas of our life. And so you want to feel empowered, but you also want to have that compassion, that forgiveness, that love, that softness in your body, in your soul, in the way you hold yourself, in the way that you're coming into power, in the way you're coming into leadership. It is this super strong woman, but it's also this compassionate, empathetic, beautiful woman that owns her divinity, her sexuality, her everything, her emotions, and owns her anger and takes responsibility for her anger and doesn't just lash out. I've just seen so much lashing out and so much judgment. And I think it's time for us to really reflect on this judgment, reflect on this lashing out, reflect on this anger, and knowing that it's okay that it happened. It's, it's justified, but allowing it to let go and knowing it's no longer serving us, and allowing it is time for us to balance these energies. It is time, because the faster we balance these energies, the faster we can move on. The faster that we can freaking receive the abundance that is ours, receive the abundance, allow all of humanity to receive the abundance. Because when we start to receive abundance, when we start taking action and receiving abundance, every single person in this world, when we allow that and we share this abundance with everyone else, that what happens is people feel safe. People feel taken care of. People already have everything that they possibly could want. So when that happens, people start playing with ideas. People start becoming extremely creative. That's where creativity starts to really, really happen, is when people feel safe, when people feel secure, when people feel taken care of. You can't even think about being creative when you are, when you don't know if you'll have enough food on the table, when you're not sure if you're going to be able to put clothes on your back next year, when you're really trying to provide for your family, when you're scared of, when you're just living paycheck to paycheck. It is so hard to get super creative on how to help the world and make a massive impact. So it's with this feminine energy where we're going to feel good about receiving, because right now feminine energy is so damaged in that way, where women feel super guilty receiving, where we feel shameful around money, where we feel shameful and guilty around power, where power doesn't feel good. And when we speak about power, it's almost embarrassing. How many women would admit, I want to be powerful? I want to have power. I want to have power. And how many women can actually say that in front of a ton of people and feel okay about it, and not feel like maybe ostracized a bit, like they might be ostracized. And so I really want to have this familiarity and this okayness around the idea of wealth and power when it comes to women, and this beautiful, healed, feminine and masculine energy. That's where the masculine is damaged in a woman, where it's the action's not being taken. Like, we're really good at visualizing. We're really good at having this creativity within ourselves. We're really, really good at being creative. But then on the other hand, we're not so good with taking action. We're not, and I don't want to say this is not a blanket term. I'm just saying in general, women are just usually not as strong when taking action and creating and focusing on goals. And that's, that there's been studies with this. And so it's not just me like giving out my own just opinions, but there's studies behind this where women have been shown not to be as focused on goals. We have many, many goals instead of just one, and we're just a little less focused on it. And that's okay. And that's for us to realize that about ourselves. And I know that about myself as well. That's actually like super true. I have so many goals. I have so many ambitions and so many passions. And women are usually tend to be more multi-passionate than men. And, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but healing this masculine part of us, where we do allow ourselves to focus on something that's truly important to us, like something that is so important to us. What is like the one message, if you were to leave this world next week, what is something that you would want the world, if you had 1 week or even 1 day, whatever, to spend getting a message out to the world? What would that be? Anything. What would you want the world to know? If you could just, and every single person's going to hear it. What would you want the world to know? Every single person is going to hear this message. You're going to maybe just for 1 hour or whatever time you need, you're going to be able to tap in to every single person's ear, and you're going to be able to tell them a message. What would you want them to know? What would you share? What type of lessons would you want to tell the world before you leave? And having this goal, and then maybe you'll take some ideas from that exercise, but taking this idea and then committing your life to it or energy to it. And this goal, I love to think that our goals are so flexible and ever flowing. So, today you might feel this way, but tomorrow you might have something else. But whatever it is, in this, just every moment, commit yourself to something deeply important to you. Commit yourself. And that's, just have a goal-oriented action where you are super focused on this super incredibly important thing, and keep focusing on it. And so with that, I want to just give you some of the qualities that it is to be considered feminine energy. And a lot of religions call it Shakti energy. I just want to give you a few of them, and you can see which ones resonate with you, which ones you think that you have inside of your body, or the ones that you feel that you share with the world, and then maybe other ones that you could maybe tap into a little bit more. So empathy, nurture, fluidity, just fluid and flowiness, softness, receptivity, openness, devotion, creativity, compassion, community, feelings, support, intuition, life, and understanding. So when you have these qualities, when you really tune in and place value on these qualities, this openness, devotion, creativity, feelings, support, intuition, life, when you in this softness, this fluidity, this flow to life, when you really place importance and value on these feelings, there's certain things that you're going to experience more of. And some of those things are, you're going to be able to magnetically attract what you want. So manifest. You're going to be able to manifest so much faster. You're going to be able to hold space for projects to just develop at their natural pace, instead of feeling like you have to get it done. Like it's this chaotic energy, this forceful energy where it just feels stressful and it feels, just chaotic. So instead, you're just going to allow it to unfold, and you're going to enjoy the journey and allowing it to unfold and just allowing it to develop again at its natural pace. You're going to enjoy the process of creation independent of the end result. Now, this is something that it took me a long time to figure out. I am actually a very goal-oriented person, and I very much focused on just completing my goals. And I forgot to enjoy the process. And I really noticed this when I was playing Zelda Breath of the Wild recently. Yes, I love video games. But I was playing the video game and I realized I was just trying to complete the temples. I was just trying to complete all of my video game goals. And I wasn't actually enjoying the journey of playing the video game. I was just, I just wanted to hear the the ding that goes off, and have my brain stimulated by, completing something, and then that sound going off. And I just wanted to just complete my goals. And that's something I'm working on even still, is fully enjoying my journey to my goal, allowing myself to fully enjoy it, because that's where the magic is. It's in all of the extra moments between where we are right now and the goal. Because once we get to the goal, we won't even be able to enjoy it unless we do enjoy the journey first. We have to enjoy this moment that you're listening to me right now. This is part of your journey. This is part of it. This is a massive part of it. In this moment, it's the only part of it. So allow yourself to enjoy fully this very moment. And if you are already completing that goal, if you already completed that goal fully, if you already fully realized every single thing in your life and you were exactly where you wanted to be, you had everything that you possibly could want, how would you listen to me in this moment? How would you listen to me differently? If you just allowed yourself to surrender and let go of everything else and just allow yourself to listen to me, how would you do that? How would it be different? So something else with feminine energy. So if you're placing value on qualities of feminine energy in yourself, you're also seeing the big picture. So that's very feminine energy. It's a very big picture thinking. It's masculine is more detail oriented. So more big picture thinking, which is visionary, legacy. When I talk about legacy, when I talk about visionary, that's such feminine energy. I mean, it's masculine as well, but it's big picture thinking is so feminine and it's so beautiful and so gorgeous. And it's inspirational. And another one is working with others and creating community. So if you're so that's very feminine energy, working with others, creating community. So this is so important to have as a business owner or as in your career, having this community, having this support and working with others, connecting to emotional and physical life as a catalyst for change and development. Relate to others by listening, sharing, and nurturing. Now I'm going to go into the qualities of masculine energy. So it's leadership, action, reason, logic, adventure, strength, loyalty, firmness, survival, confidence, focus, pride, honor, efficiency, power, caretaker. And then when you tune into and then place value on some of these characteristics, this is usually what follows. So you tenaciously pursue what you want. You decide when, where, and how a project grows. You focus on the end result of a project. You focus on one thing at a time, relying on yourself and your individual achievements. Set boundaries around emotions and your body in order to accomplish goals. That's an important one, especially for women, especially for where we are right now, setting boundaries around our emotions and our body in order to accomplish goals. Relating through camaraderie, entertainment, and problem solving. So I want you to go through, you can even, rewind this part and see where in your life, maybe you're not allowing the full masculine energy of yourself to flow through. Where can you be maybe a better leader? Where can you be more tenacious? Where can you be more of a caretaker? Just helping people feel safe. Where can you have maybe confidence? Where can you feel more confident in your life, your relationships? What about maybe even having more adventure, more focus, more pride, more efficiency? Where can you be more efficient in your life? And when you think of masculine energy, this is an important question too. When you think of masculine energy, what do you think? What do you feel? Does it feel negative? If you could draw masculine energy, what would you draw? And I think that will really expose some of the parts of your masculine that's wounded. If you have anger towards the masculine, really dive deep into that and see where in your body you feel it and observe it curiously. Just allow yourself to feel, just observe curiously, but most importantly, allow it to release. Allow it to release because it's not benefiting you any longer. In this moment, you were supposed to watch this episode, but you're not supposed to hold on to that any longer. So I want you to release it out into the world. And I want you to really notice where in your life your feminine is wounded, where your masculine's wounded, and how it might really benefit you to truly bring these energies into balance. Using this masculine energy, like actually just meditating on masculine energy, what it feels like to be masculine, if you could feel more masculine energy in your body, how would that feel? When I do it, I feel more of a force. I feel more of like this excitement in my body, this exciting energy of adventure and of surrealness. And yeah, adventure is such a good describing word of the energy that I feel when I really am tapping into my masculine side. And it's this forward momentum, this beautiful forward momentum of focus. And I feel more confident. And then on the other hand, how can you allow more feminine energy into your life? Just more of it all. How can you allow more energy into your life? But then also a balance. We don't want to become overbalanced because again, it creates really unhealthy qualities in ourselves. So how can we allow more healthy qualities of the feminine to flow through us? How can we allow more receptivity in our life? How can we allow our lives to be filled with more community, with more support? How will you allowing people to support you? Instead of just saying yes to everyone, how can you have boundaries with people without feeling guilty? Because that's a very common thing, feeling guilty when people help you. How can you just allow people to support you? Allowing for self-care, for nourishment, for your feelings to come through, to honor your feelings moment to moment. How can you allow all this? I love this. allowing your feelings moment to moment, and then taking action on the feelings that feel the best. The most that you can fully surrender and tap into the feelings that feel the best in this very moment, and then taking action. That's what it means to take aligned action. You might be seeing that a lot, taking aligned action, but really fully taking aligned action on those. And with that, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in. And if you are not already a part of our community, make sure you subscribe. And also, I will be leaving a meditation in the show notes. So yeah, make sure you sign up for the meditation, and then you'll be joining the newsletter, and it's friggin' awesome. That's where you really get to connect with our community and myself. And yes, and thank you so much for following this episode, and I cannot wait to see you on the next episode. And with that, we come to the close of yet another epic journey of the Aligned Empire podcast. Thank you for tuning in to the frequency of your limitless potential. Each episode is a code to unlock your unique energetic frequencies of money, business, and your aligned empire. If you feel this episode would resonate with others, please share it forward, creating a ripple effect throughout the universe. Make sure to subscribe to continue this journey of transformation with us. Join us again next week as we continue to rise together, joining a movement that is changing the world. This is Drea Brown, your guide on this journey, signing off.